Greetings everyone. This is Maheshwaran from Department of English. This video is about The Alchemist, written by Paulo Coelho. It is about a shepherd boy from Spain whose name is Santiago. He keeps getting the same dream about treasures that are in the pyramids of Egypt. It is written by Paulo Coelho. He was born on August 24, 1947 in Brazil. He also worked as a theatre director, an actor, and also a journalist in the magazine 2001. His masterpiece work is The Alchemist. It is translated more than 80 languages. Life lesson. This story is very enchanting and bursts with optimism, which is very important in our lives. The book also shows that the journey to your destiny is as important as the destiny itself. So it's that way it shows the importance of faith, hope, and spirituality through the story of an ordinary boy. Characters. Santiago, an adventurous young Andalusian shepherd determined to fulfill his personal legend, which is to find a treasure at the foot of Egyptian pyramids. He is the protagonist of the story. The Alchemist. He is a very powerful alchemist residing in the Al Moses. He dresses in black, rides a white horse, and carries a scimitar, the philosopher's stone, the elixirs of life. He often speaks cryptically, but he understands the soul of world and importance of personal legends. And the next one is King Melchizedek, the king of Salem. He appears to possess magical powers and help those pursuing their personal legends. Fatima, a beautiful, chaste young desert woman who lives at the Alphonse Museum, and he was the one Santiago falls in love with. Christian Merchant. He is a very kind man and he gives Santiago a job in Tangiers after he has been robbed. The Englishman. He is a well-educated science student determined to learn the secrets of alchemy by learning from a true alchemist. He is a skeptic and loves reading books. The story of Alchemist is about Santiago, a young and adventurous shepherd. He has a dream every night. He sleeps under a sycamore tree that grows out of the ruins of search. During the dream, a child tells him to seek the treasure at the foot of Egyptian pyramids. Santiago, he consults a gypsy woman to interpret the dream, and to his surprise, she tells him to go to Egypt. A strange, magical old man named Melchizedek, who claims to be the king of Salem, echoes the gypsy's advice, and he also tells Santiago that it is his personal legend to journey to the pyramids. Later, Melchizedek convinces Santiago to sell his flock and set off to Tangier. When Santiago arrives in Tangier, a thief robs him and forcing him to find work with a local crystal merchant. The conservative and kindly merchant teaches Santiago several lessons. There is pays off and Santiago becomes a rich man in just a year. Santiago decides to cash in his earnings and continue pursuing his personal legend. It is to find a treasure at the pyramids. He joins a caravan crossing a Sahara desert towards Egypt and meets an Englishman who is studying to become an alchemist. He learns a lot from the Englishman during the journey. For one, he learns that the secret of alchemy is written on a stone called emerald tablet. The ultimate creation of alchemy is the masterwork, which consists of a solid called the philosopher's stone that can turn lead to gold and a liquid called elixirs of life that can cure all ills. Santiago learns the Englishman is traveling with the caravan to the Sahara oasis of Algeria, where a powerful 200-year-old alchemist resides. The Englishman plans to ask the alchemist the secret of his trade. As it turns out, the caravan must take an extended stop in Alphosium in order to avoid increasingly violent tribal wars taking place in the desert. There, Santiago falls in love with Fatima, who lives at the same place. During a walk in the desert, Santiago witnesses an omen which pretends an attack on the historically neutral oasis. He warns the tribal chieftain of the attack, and as a result, Alphosium successfully defends itself against the assault. The alchemist gets the word of Santiago's vision and invites Santiago on a trip into the desert, during which he teaches Santiago about the importance of listening to his heart, pursuing his personal legend. He convinces Santiago to leave Fatima and the caravan for the first time to finish his journey to the pyramids, and he offers to accompany Santiago on his trip. While while Alchemist and Santiago continue through the desert, the Alchemist says much of his wisdom about the soul of the world. There are mere days away from the pyramids when a tribe of Arab soldiers captures them. In exchange for his life, the life of Santiago, the Alchemist hands over to the tribe of all Santiago's money and tells the soldiers that Santiago is a powerful alchemist who will turn into wind in 3 days. Santiago feels alarmed because he has no idea how to turn into the wind. Over the next 3 days, he contemplates the desert. On the third day, he communicates with the wind and the sun and urges them to help him create a tremendous storm. He prays to hand that rout all, and the height of storm he disappears. He reappears on the other side of the camp. The tribesmen, awaited by the power of the storm and by Santiago's ability, let him and the alchemist go free. The alchemist continues to travel with Santiago as far as Coptic monastery several hours from the pyramids. There he demonstrates to Santiago his ability to turn lead into gold using philosopher's stone. He gives Santiago gold and sends him off. Santiago begins digging for the treasure at the foot of pyramids, but two men cross him and beat him. When Santiago speaks to them about the dream vision, they decide he must have no money and let him live. Before leaving, one of the men tries to illustrate the worthlessness of dreams by telling Santiago about his own dream. It concerns a treasure buried in an abandoned church in Spain where a sycamore tree grows. The church is the same one in which Santiago had his original dream, and now finally he